Welcome to the 8th round of the Blitz tournament in Belgrade. We are currently 4 out of 7. It's a very bad result. We lost 3 games in a row. So this is a very important game. We have to recover. This guy is actually a very strong teenager. We already played a couple of times in Classical and he started e4, c5, knight f3, knight c6, and he went for d4. I take back, and I went for my Kalashnikov variation. He picked knight b5 line, d6, and now c4. This is the old main line, bishop e6. He went knight 1 c3. I pushed the knight out of this place, he went back, and now I went for g6 line. He went bishop e3. In our classical game, I picked the line with bishop e7, but now I wanted to surprise him and chooses this, and now knight f6. So, if you're King's Indian player, I think this setup could make sense for you because it's kind of similar. The only thing is d line is open, which is not common for the King's Indian opening. Now your strategy is to go this, knight e7, and reroute your knights on the other side of the board. He went bishop e2, I went bishop g7, he went castles, I went castles myself. And now we have a lot of stuff to do here. Search a rook c8, looking for some knight jumps. There is always some tactics behind that because now my plan is actually knight e4. If he takes, I take back. And if queen takes, there is some knight e5 ideas, and this card is typical for the King's Indian structure. He went bishop g5. I think that's waste of time because he already played bishop e3 and bishop g5. You can also see that Engine doesn't like that move, but it's not a bad move. Now when knight e4, he went instantly knight c2. So this knight here, once you jump, you're not moving this knight from that spot. Or if he allows you to take this bishop, you can do that. But before that, I don't like this pin here. So I need to solve that problem with h6. This bishop can take, can go bishop h4, can go bishop e3. So he has a ton of options. I think bishop takes f6 is actually the best one. And after bishop takes f6, you know, to look somehow to bring maybe this knight here. But then knight on d4 is very strong. He went bishop e3 back, and now it's time that I have to capture this bishop. I completely forgot about that idea. Why that? Because after take and queen take, I want to focus with rook c8 on this pawn, follow later with, if he goes b3, I will have this very powerful move b5 because now knight is not protected. Instead, I went for rook c8, which is possible, but a problem with that move is I'm allowing ton of simplification in the middle of the board. Like if he goes now b3, I have of course this idea to take some of these pieces and then to go b5. Of course he realized that taking the knight is the best. I take back, he take back with bishop. And now I simply win the pawn on c4. So this position is, you know, more pleasant for white just because I have this d6 pawn. I saw that. I regret, to be honest, once I play the move rook c8, but what can I do? It's not terrible. Like white is just slightly more comfortable now. Takes back, takes with rook. It's not over, of course. This is not winning position for white. He went queen d3, and now I'm thinking about moving my rook back or protecting with b5. b5 could be actually a little bit tricky because sometimes a4 will undermine my queenside pawn structure. That's what I'm thinking now, trying to understand, is this safe for me to go b5 here? Or I should drop the bishop, the rook back, but after b5, I found easy that after a4 maybe I have a b4 and rook c6. So he kicked my rook out of the way. Now there is many ways how you can retreat your rook, but of course there's even option for rook c7 if he goes bishop b6 to capture the knight. But I went rook c6, so if he goes this, I have b4 and my rook is protecting a6. He's actually very well controlling the board with his minor pieces in the middle and also now positioning his rooks into the game. So he understands strategy. But now when he needs to grab the advantage with bishop takes f6 and knight e5, he doesn't understand that principle. I saw that immediately this is annoying because it's just simply targeting my piece, and now knight e5. If I go back, there is knight e7. I can't move my bishop. If I go something like bishop d8, it's already very passive. He can start pushing the pawns. That's already much better for white. That's why I should go instead of rook c8 earlier, knight takes e2. But instead he went knight e5, and this is a mistake. Why? It's because simplifying while I control the line, so he's gonna Now close the line here after pawn takes d5, after the trade happens. He'll close the line, and then what is the purpose of having the rook here? Like, if you already wanted to have open d-line, then why we're closing the line now with changing the pawn structure? So it means that my rook and queen are perfectly aligned there. And I'm happy with that, absolutely. Now rook c2. Targeting the pawn on a2. I was expecting some a4 or bishop takes g7. But instead he started playing very passive. He went for rook d2, offering the trade. And as more we simplify, my position is much better. Takes, takes, and now queen c2. So infiltrating the queen on his side of the board, targeting these pawns. Also preparing some rook e8, rook e2. He has back rank problems, while my king is completely safe with that. I will control both lines after rook e8. And also make the pressure on f2 pawn. He's also lower in time, and I'm in a driving seat now. He goes for a4. I just took the pawn here. It's a pawn up for black. Smart move a5. You want to eliminate this, and maybe try rook a1 and push this pawn. But simply here, we are looking for simplification. Queen c4, if they take, we're going to take back with b pawn, followed by rook c8, but he went queen to b6. Anyway, smart idea. Now I can go this and protect this pawn, but then I drop this pawn here, which is a little bit uncomfortable. So I found that queen takes d5 is good, and after queen takes e6, rook a8. And on queen b6, there is queen c5. It's amazing because after this, I'll have at least this, or, you know, just rook takes a5. Instead, he went rook to b1, and now trade of queen is good for me, just because after rook a6, he can't take this pawn because of checkmate, and if he push this one here, I will have rook b6 and go like this one here. So I will end up in the 2 pawns up position. He starts with f4, now I just take, and now black is completely winning. So in this position, I just need to bring my king closer. King f8, king e7, king d7. He started pushing some pawns. I'm blocking that pawns, of course, on the king side. g3, king e7. Yeah, now it's easy win. Just a matter of time when he's gonna resign. King d7, king c3, d5. Pawn endgame is also winning. This is now more stuff like for beginners. Trade of rooks, and now just bringing your pieces closer. King c5, making opposition. King d5, f5. Completely closing everything. And king c4, king f3, king c3. And he resigned the game. Great. So we broke the losing streak. That's amazing. So we are now 5 out of 8. Won with Kalashnikov opening. That's amazing. Our favorite opening. And I'll see you in the next round.